Hello and welcome to the Crafter's Toolbox. I have a great technique for you today, so let's not waste any time and get down to the tabletop and see what I have. So I'm working on these galantines for my friends that are going out in the mail this week, and I've already shared in a previous video how I did this little background text. But in this video, we're going to talk about the large greeting and how I did the coloring in here and the embossing. And it really helps a one-layer card stand out when you do something like this. So that way it's not just a flat kind of plain looking card. My friends deserve a little bling and they're going to get some. But I have to make quite a few of these, so I need to make it simple enough that it won't take me forever, especially because Valentine's Day is next weekend. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I already have my cards set up with the little background text. And I have this set up upside down. It's just the way I had it set earlier. So I left it that way. And basically, I mean, this first step is pretty self-explanatory. I'm using altenew Coral Berry. Oh, and I should say that this stamp comes from the Mega Greetings 3 from altenew. There is a coordinating die, but we're not using that today. So this is Coral Berry, and I like using these little spots because it's just easier to see what you're doing on your stamp platform, and you don't get ink all over the place. Okay. So the first layer is that Coral Berry, and I might need to do this twice if I don't have good coverage. See, there's some places I'd like to get a little more, so I'm going to do this again. No big deal. Okay, so beautiful, nice and bright pink, good for my friends. So Coral Berry, and then we're going to add in some Ruby Red. And let me just pull this down so you can see it really well. So I'm going to use a sponge, a little sponge dauber, because if I just use this, what you're going to get is sharp edges, and I don't want sharp edges. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink this up really, really good. And kind of decide how high up I want it to go. Now I can add a second layer too. So again, I'm not going to make too many mistakes here. With these kinds of inks, with the dye inks, it's best to do this kind of thing monochromatic. If I tried to do like blue or something, I'd end up with maybe a purpley color or something kind of funky. But because I'm doing pink into red, this works really, really well. If I wanted to do like a rainbow of colors, I would just not do the color all the way down. I would do like pink here and then blue here and then yellow and then red. But because it's monochromatic, I can do color over color. So you can see here, maybe you can't, but you can really see how it's shading right into that. Now, if I want to add even more darkness to the bottom, which really I don't have to do because I'm going to be adding that gold in here, so this isn't really necessary. But if you're not going to do gold, you could go another shade darker or just try adding another layer and see how that works out for you. So you got even more rich at the bottom here, but we're going to be covering that in gold, so it doesn't matter. Actually, you don't have to cover it in gold. So on this one, of course, I did that with the gold at the bottom. This one, I did a strip of gold across the middle, which is really kind of cool too. So if you just wanted to do a light strip, you could do that. This is the cool thing about using the Versamark. So first, you're going to want to clean this off because you don't want to get any ink when you're using your sponge daubers. You don't want to get any excess ink onto your Versamark pad. I mean, you can get it out, but red is a tough color, right? So I use my chamois here and I clean this off really, 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 really good. Okay, so give that a second to dry. And while you're doing that, of course, you want to use your anti-static bag. and just get some of that on here. The nice thing about the anti-static bag is that this is going to kind of help dry your ink too. So that's helpful. So now you can decide where you want to do the gold. And of course, wherever you put the Versamark is where it's going to stick. So you could do something really cool and just do spots. Or you can do lines or whatever you want. So I'm just trying something kind of fun. I just did spots all over the place. And of course, you're not going to see that until we get the ink on there. Okay. So now I have my Versamark on there. And let's bring over our gold embossing powder. There we go. So you can see I have like these spots in places, which is kind of neat. It's a different look for sure. But it's going to add some gold, which is really nice. And you know what? If you don't like this, okay, so let's say we don't like this. I'm not really crazy about it, actually. I'm just going to take a big brush and just brush it right off and try it again. So cool thing is I've got it in my stamp positioner, so everything's going to stay in place. And I'm going to do over with my anti-static bag, and this will help get rid of any stick from that Versamark that we didn't like. And this time I'm just going to go on the bottom because really I do like this the best. All right, and then you can try it again. All right, and then if for some reason, I always have brushes hanging around. See, that one's still kind of stuck. If you don't want to have such an organic line, of course, you can just use your brush to give yourself a more structured line. There we go. And I'm just going to heat that up. Beautiful. And now all I have to do is add in my little hand hugs and snip this off once it's glued down. And then I have another card done. So you can see you can really make a whole bunch of these in no time using two really fun techniques. I hope you enjoyed these tips and add them to your crafter's toolbox soon. And I'll see you in another video soon. But until then, happy crafting.